Welcome back, yet again adventurers, to the visual novel known as Steins. Last time I showed you all the second alternative ending, that of May Queen's Queen Maid, Feiris Nyan Nyan, better known as Rumiho Akiha, and of the ultimate sacrifice that Rintaro Okabe had to make in order to keep both Feiris' father alive as well as Mayuri Shina. That sacrifice was the bond between himself and the entire future gadget laboratory. But surprisingly enough, it worked. But now at this moment in time, we are at the point where Rintaro is poised to send a D-mail to the pager of Luka Urushibara's mother, erasing the events that have transpired up until this moment. But things are a little complicated, because originally Luka Urushibara, well, he wanted Rintaro Okabe to send the D-mail back in time in order to change the circumstances of his birth. Because of his effeminate appearance, he often felt awkward and out of place, and he believed that becoming a girl would ultimately help his self-esteem issues. Unfortunately, from Rintaro's perspective, the female incarnation of Ruka, who is currently standing in front of us right now, is essentially the same as the male Ruka in all respects than one, in that she is actually a woman, female, as opposed to a male. But sadly, in every other aspect, including her behavior and personality, she is really no different from her male counterpart. Of course, it goes without saying that Ruka's D-mail is another in the series of D-mails that Rintaro needs to cancel in order to keep Mayuri Shina alive. But Ruka, however, had one stipulation, and that stipulation was that Rintaro go out with her for 4 days in the city of Akihabara, because in this worldline, Ruka has romantic feelings for Rintaro, and sadly, Rintaro has fallen in love with the female Ruka. And he is at a crossroads at this point. If he sends the D-mail, he'll be saving Mayuri's life at the cost of the female Ruka's existence. And if he doesn't, if he chooses to keep the memories of the events between himself and Ruka alive, he will effectively be consigning Mayuri to death. Either choice, sadly, is the height of arrogance. With just one call to the phone wave TBA, I can send a message to Ruka's pager number. Oh, to her pager, not her number, but you get what I mean. Except we're not going to do that this time. Again, that is the boon and the curse of the double-edged sword known as reading Steiner. The only one who will remember the events of this worldline would be none other than Rintaro himself. If I make the call. Unfortunately, Rintaro's resolve is starting to waver, as these 4 days aren't the only days that he's been forced to erase in order to save Mayuri, because the 4 days that he spent with Suzuha Mane now no longer exist.
ダメだ、できない。
But this time, he doesn't have the strength.
岡部さん、どうして？
もう嫌なんだ。誰かの思い出を犠牲にするのは。
He's reached the end of his rope. Ladies and gentlemen. First Suzuha, and then Ferris. I've already trampled on Suzuha and Ferris's memories. I turned a blind eye to their suffering, all the while telling myself it was to save Mayuri. I justified it by telling myself I would carry their burdens, but that was just a convenient excuse. Because at this point in time, Suzuha Mane has no idea that Daru is her father, and as for Ferris, her father has met his fated end in a tragic plane accident. The plane accident that claimed his life. And yet, were to lead to the spread of Moe culture all throughout Akihabara, as well as Ferris being essentially self-sufficient.
俺にはそんな権利ないんだ。
The question is, does anyone have that right? I fall to my knees, unable to stand. The only way to save Mayuri is to send this email. There's no alternative. Even so, I don't have the right to erase Rukuko's entire life as a girl. I can't do such an arrogant thing. More than anything, I don't want to lose the Rukuko beside me right now.
岡部さん。
Mayuri can't be saved. Mayuri's death is fate. Not entirely, but it will be fated given our decision. No matter how many world lines I cross, convergence will occur. Mayuri will die, no matter what. I'm tired of it all. Mayuri, I'm sorry. My ego wasn't strong enough to sacrifice everything for your sake. That is the choice of Rintaro Okabe, and no one else's. The first day of Kamima has ended. A few otaku warriors linger to check their spores before beginning the odyssey home. Otherwise, Ariaki is silent and still, as if the crowd Rukuko and I saw this afternoon was a lie. Kamima runs for 3 days straight, but it already feels like the end of a festival. Of course, the silence is just for tonight. Tomorrow, people will come to fill this spacious promenade once again. My hand clutches at my chest, knowing full well what will happen. Mayuri will die in less than an hour. I'm not ready. And yet we've seen it happen so many times. Even so, I want to be with her in her final moments. I won't let her leave this world alone. That's why I came here right after leaving the shrine. She should still be in Ariaki somewhere. I contacted both Mayuri and Daru by mail. If they're still in Ariake, they should be here any minute now. My phone rings. Speak of the devil. We have mail from none other than Ruka. Please tell me, is this really okay?
ルカ子
She doesn't have to say it. I know exactly what she means. There's only one thing I can say. Everything will be fine. This was my choice. You don't have to worry about a thing. Mail sent. I know that mail won't be enough to stop Rukiko from blaming herself. But I have to send it all the same, if only to strengthen my resolve. Memories from this morning rise unbidden. Mayuri stopped by the lab on the way to Komima. I was dozing on the couch. Earlier that day, suddenly the darkness was burned away by light. Squinting against the fluorescent radiance, I raised my head to see who had entered.
おかりんごめんね。起こしちゃったかな。
And Mayuri is in jubilant spirits as usual. Mayuri was there, tugging his suitcase.
いや寝ていたわけじゃない
I've been up all night, trying to solve the problem of my last date with Rukiko.
前よりは随分早いな
あのね、マユシーはコスを取りに来たのです。
The early bird gets the worm after all.
それと、ついでに朝ごはん。
Please don't tell me you're going to have goosey tender chicken #1 for breakfast. She took a sandwich and some potato salad from her convenience store bag. Oh, okay. That's a relief.
これからコミマに行くのか
Given the bag that she's got in her hand, the suitcase, I would say so.
ダル君はね、始発でもう行っちゃったみたいだよ。
Seems that Daru was already wading through the morass of no man's land.
そうか
ねえねえ、オカリン。昨日、ルカちゃんとどこ行ってきたの？
And we were at the shrine.
楽しいデートはできたかな？あのね、昨日からルカちゃん、メールに返事してくれないんだ。
Because Ruka knows full well what is about to happen.
ルカ子にメールしたのか
マユシーはちょっと心配なのです。
Apparently Mayuri is worried about Ruka. The day before, Rukiko burst into tears barely 5 minutes after we met up. Then we parted ways. That's why I couldn't give Mayuri an answer.
もしかしてまたルカちゃんのこと泣かせちゃったの？そうだとしたらね、マユシーは悲しいよ。
That isn't exactly what happened, I
悲
believe.
しい
悲しい。だってね、ルカちゃんはマユシーのお友達だもん。
It was Mayuri's last day alive, and also Rukiko's last day together with me. I asked myself, could I really let it end with both of them sad? Let it end. What right did I have to decide when it ends? My arrogance made me want to vomit. And then, as if to rely on Mayuri, I began to tell her about my new plan.
お前は今日ずっとコミマ会場にいるのか
いるけど、どうして？
ルカ子を連れて行ってもいいか
本当？もちろんいいよ。
And Mayuri is back to being her smiling self. Mayuri smiled happily, took some milk out of the refrigerator to wash down the sandwich, and began to enjoy her breakfast.
ルカ子にコスプレをしてもらう件はどうなった？
Given Ruka's self-esteem issues, not to mention her past history with cosplay, probably not very well.
結局ね、説得はできなかったよ。
I suspected as much.
嫌がってるのに無理やり着せたりしてね、トラウマになっちゃったら良くないもん。
Ruka doesn't necessarily hate cosplay, but doesn't really like it either. So basically Mayuri gave up.
でもね、ルカちゃんにコミマに来てもらうっていうのはいいアイデアかも。
Maybe it is a good idea to bring her. Then again,
そこで雰囲気を見てもらったら、ルカちゃんもやってみようかなって思うようになるかな。
I wouldn't keep my fingers crossed or my breath held on that one.
そしたら次の冬のコミマでいいからコスプレしてくれないかな。
The next Komima.
どうだろうな。
そうなってくれるといいな。ねえねえ、本当に今日ルカちゃんを連れてきてくれる？
Most certainly.
ああ、
オカリンもマユシーの作ったコス見に来てくれる？
そういうことになる。
As you wish, Mayuri.
そっか、本当に2人に来てもらえるならね、とっても嬉しいよ。
Mayuri packed her costumes into the suitcase.
じゃあもう行かなきゃ。絶対来てね、ずっと待ってるからね。今日だけじゃなくて明日も来たいって思うように頑張って案内するから。
Tomorrow, eh? I have to be honest, adventurers. This is too cruel. But are you finally beginning to realize? Are you finally beginning to understand why I was racing against time and fate to reach the true ending of Steins Gate at this point? If not, you should. I could hear my teeth grinding. I knew that whether Mayuri would get to see tomorrow depended entirely on my actions. If this day had gone as planned, my status as Rukago's temporary boyfriend would have come to a close. Rukago would have gone back to being a guy. Mayuri would survive the night. She would go to Komima tomorrow without a care in the world. But not today.
どうかした？
I would certainly say that everything is wrong at this point. Mayuri looked at me quizzically. She's always been sensitive to changes in my demeanor. So I put on a smile and responded as Hoin Kyoma.
問題ない。世界を支配する機関といかに対決するかについて少し思いを馳せていただけだ。昼間有明で会おう。
待ってるね。
Well, Mayuri seems to have bought that excuse. Mayuri didn't leave right away. She just stood there in front of the door, looking at me.
マユシーだったらいつでも何でも相談に乗るからね。
マユリ。
じゃあ行ってきまーす。
Mayuri cheerfully flew out the door, suitcase in hand, like the white rabbit in Wonderland. The sound of her footsteps gradually faded away. Now alone, I took a deep breath. What have we done? What have we done? The time limit was 13 hours after that point in time. In those 13 hours, I was to return Rukiko to manhood. I thought I had to change her back. But now...
Okari?
Back to the present. Back to reality. A voice calls me back to the present. There's Mayuri, dragging a suitcase. Daru isn't with her. She's probably upset. After all, I completely stood her up on the promise we made this morning.
来てくれたんだ。でも、ちょっと遅いよ。
And sadly we've made Mayuri worry once again.
マユシーはずっと待ってたのに。すごく寂しかったのです。
すまない。
I can't look at Mayuri in the eye. As Mayuri was waiting in vain, I was making the worst possible decision for her. I chose not to turn Rukiko back. I chose to not save Mayuri. No, let's not beat around the bush. I chose to let her die. It's not that I don't want to save her, I do. But I can't bring myself to make the necessary sacrifice.
ルカちゃんは？
来ていない。
No.
また泣かせちゃったの？
いや。
Not this time at any rate. My thoughts are a jumble. Her every word seems like an accusation. Of course I know that's not her intent. Even if she knew what I had done, this innocent childhood friend of mine doesn't have a bitter bone in her body. It's my guilty conscience, changing Mayuri's words into swords stabbing straight through the heart. But even so, I can no longer change the past. I don't want to change it. So I have no other choice. No other choice but to accept the death this world so desires. If I were a normal man, I would have had to accept Mayuri's death whether I liked it or not. I wouldn't have been able to try to avert it. But by chance, I acquired the power of a god. It allowed me to try again and again. If anything, I should be grateful for the opportunity I was given.
おかり？
I can't let Mayuri sense my unease, even though I'm sure she already has. She can always tell when something's bothering me. 10 minutes left. I want her to spend them happy and carefree. That's the very least I can do for her. So I put on the mask of Horin Kiyoma, just as I did for Rukiko.
案ずるなマユリ。俺とルカ子は至って順調。あの秋葉原の先森たる巫女とは強い縁で結ばれているのだ。そう、俺とルカ子は離れたくも離れられない運命なのだよ。
I think even Rintaro realizes at this point how much he's stretching the truth.
そして今日、この俺の IQ170 を誇る灰色の脳細胞を持ってルカ子に笑顔を蘇らせた。
I don't think that smile's going to last very long.
あいつは言った。俺と一緒に修行ができて楽しかったとな。
Of course, if Mayuri asks, he'll probably give a different answer. As soon as those words leave my lips, I realize my mistake. makes it sound like I broke my promise to Mayuri just so I could give Rukiko a fun time, doesn't it? Well, I suppose that is what happened. But Mayuri didn't need to know that.
本当？よかった。
And yet Mayuri seemed somewhat accepting. But Mayuri, innocent as she is, just gave me a happy, relieved smile.
じゃあ、オカリンとルカちゃんは別れたりすることもないんだね。
Yeah, no reason.
ああ、別れない。
Actually, our temporary relationship has already ended. That was our agreement. But I don't think I need to tell Mayuri that.
そっか。これでマユシーは安心してコミマに集中できるよ。
I can't keep doing this.
マユリは明日も参加するのか？
そうだよ。3日連続なの。
3 whole days. Right. I don't think you can keep the charade up any longer, Rintaro. I shouldn't have asked. I fight the urge to check my phone. Last time I checked it was about 7 PM. I don't have the guts to check again. I don't want to watch the seconds tick down to Mayuri's death.
タルくん遅いね。
Speaking of which, where is he?
あのね、さっき電話したらまだ近くにいるって言ってたよ。
And yet for some reason he's not here.
別に置いていってもいいんだがな。
もうちょっと待ってみようよ。
If that's what Mayuri wants, then I won't deny her. Besides, I don't want Mayuri's last moments to be on a crowded train or bus, but rather somewhere she can see the stars. Not that I have any right to choose her place of death.
ねえねえ、なんとかしてルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらえないかな。
I don't think so.
どうやって説得すればいいんだろうね。
And yet Mayuri is still as insistent as always. Mayuri's mood is completely healed. Why is she so happy? Did she hear something pleasing somewhere in this conversation? Was it knowing that things are going well between me and Rukiko? Or was it just that I kept my promise to come here after all? I don't know. I don't know, but seeing Mayuri's happy smile makes my heart ache.
ルカちゃんがキラリちゃんのコスプレしたらね、絶対似合うと思うんだ。ルカちゃんってね、マユシーがドキドキしちゃうくらい可愛いもん。世界中の人たちにね、ルカちゃんの可愛さを知ってもらいたいってオカリンも思うよね。
No comment here. Ditto with Rintaro.
それともルカちゃんは自分だけのものって思ってるのかな。でもね、独り占めはダメだよ。マユシーだってルカちゃんにキュンキュンしたいよ。
別にマユリの好きにしたらいい。ルカ子は俺のものじゃないんだから。
Counting down the seconds.
そっか、よかった。それにね、ルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらいたい理由はもう一つあるんだよ。
And what reason is that? Mayuri's obviously awfully obsessed with Rukiko today. Come to think of it, Mayuri has done nothing but talk about Rukiko for these past 4 days, ever since Rukiko and I started dating.
ルカちゃんって普段おとなしいでしょ。あんまり自分の意見も言おうとしないし、
That hasn't changed.
コスプレするとね、普段の自分とは別の自分になれるんだよ。だからね、最初は恥ずかしいかもしれないけど、ルカちゃんも一度やればきっと新しいルカちゃんを見つけられると思うんだ。
I wonder if that will actually work.
そしたらね、今より積極的な性格になってね、もしかするとオカリンをお尻に敷いちゃうかもしれないよ。
That is truly a terrifying thought there, Mayushi. She really does care for Rukuko. And yet, I know that all of her hopes and dreams are in vain. Suddenly, Mayuri falls silent. She looks up and raises one hand high above her head, as if to catch the stars twinkling in the night sky. Stardust handshake.
星は見えるか？
You can see the stars more clearly in Ariake than in Akiba. If only the stars would answer her call. If only she could melt into their embrace. What salvation that would be. In the past, when she has reached for the sky, I always pulled her back down to earth, as if to keep her from floating away. But today, I don't dare. What does Mayuri think about when she reaches for the starry sky? I've never asked her. Perhaps now is the time. Better late than never, I suppose.
なあ、前より。おーい、オカリン、マユシ。
And lo and behold, it's Daru. Daru runs up to us, calling our names.
ああ、ダルくん、遅いよ。
Now Mayushi is really upset.
あ、悪い悪い。いやー、戦利品の確認に手間取ったでござる。
So that's what you were doing. Daru's backpack is filled to the brim. He's also carrying 5 paper bags illustrating with moe drawings. Such zeal indeed.
じゃあ帰ろっか。
Let us be off. Mayuri gets up to lead the way, and we start heading towards the train station. The direct shuttle bus to Akiba has already ended its service.
今日も暑くて死ぬかと思ったっつーの。コスプレ会場はどうだったん？
風が気持ちよかったよ。
I'm surprised you didn't feel it, Daru.
まあ、マユシは自分でコスプレするわけじゃないしな。つうか、オカリンいつ来たん？なんか買った？
Yeah, about that.
いや、
おやおや、なんか暗くね？彼女持ちのリア充のくせに、なぜにそんな顔してやがりますか？
You're not entirely wrong there, Daru. Sad to admit.
オカリン、どうかし。
Mayuri's voice is abruptly cut short. Her suitcase falls to the ground with a thud. Oh no. It's time. Mayuri presses her hands to the center of her chest. Her face contorts in pain. I see it happen in slow motion, frame by frame. Slowly, slowly, she starts to fall. It's so sudden. So sudden. And so I fail to catch her in time. Just as we thought, Mayuri falls to the ground motionless. In a weird, morbid, macabre way, it's almost like Death Note, in a very literal sense, only without the notebook. Even if CERN do not arrive and kill her, even if all else fails, then Mayuri will simply drop dead of a heart attack. Because of worldline convergence. I can't move. I can't breathe. Strangely, I feel no sorrow. All I feel is guilt. I knew this would happen. I could have prevented it by erasing Ruka's D-mail. The one who killed Mayuri is me.
Mayushi! どうしたんだよ!
Daru is understandably distraught. Daru tosses his bags away and runs to Mayuri's side. He lifts her up and slaps her cheeks a bit. I keep watching, as if I were merely a bystander.
息してない。え、何これ。なんだよこれ。オカリン、マユシがなんか変だよ。
The sad thing is, Daru, we're all too well aware. What could be the cause? Heart attack? Most certainly. She wasn't killed this time, except she was, Rintaro, because she's dead. At least she died in one piece.
死んだって、そんな嘘だろ。だって今の今まで普通に話してたし。おい、マユシ、起きろよ。ドッキリか？ドッキリだろ。僕を騙してどうしようってんだよ。
Because we failed to send the D-mail, the cancellation D-mail, Mayuri Shina's life has sadly ended.
誰?
I put my hand on Daru's shoulder to calm him down.
マユリは死んだ。
Daru turns pale. His lips tremble as he looks at Mayuri's face in disbelief.
救急車を呼ぼう。
And yet Rintaro is unusually calm in this situation.
なんでこんな。
Sadly, we know the answer to that question.
つうか、お前なんでそんな平然とした顔してんだよ。死んだんだぞ。もう帰ってこないんだぞ。分かってんのか、オカリン。
Hate to break it to you, Daru, but we get it completely.
分かってる。
分かってるじゃなくてさ、マユシが息をしてないんだよ。なあ。
This is the first time that someone other than us has actually seen Mayuri die. Outside of Night Nuji at the train station.
俺は見殺しにした。
はあ？
I kneel beside Mayuri.
俺はマユリを助けられなかった。
And yet we could have. I reach out to Mayuri's motionless body.
いや違う。救わなかった。
At least he can admit that much. I embrace her tightly.
見捨てたんだ。俺は。マユリを。
I look up to the starry sky, just as Mayuri always did. The tears don't come. Because those tears happened so long ago. Maybe I've gotten used to it. Or maybe it's because I'm not worthy to mourn her. What fills my heart is emptiness. I'm leaning against the wall, hugging both knees. I don't remember how long I've been here,